Alrighty. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday to everybody. We're going to do our regular audio check for a quick 30 seconds and then we'll be ready to roll. As long as things are sounding okay. With the new games, I can never tell, you know? Switching games as frequently as I do, I can never tell whether a game is playing well or not with the audio. Is the delay still kicking in, or because this should be starting up. Ah, there we go. Okay, awesome. Is the game looking right from your side, or is it in a box? I think it's cropped properly. Okay, awesome. Well then, we are going to start a new game. This is actually my favorite game on all of Steam, Oxygen not included. We're going to be playing with the Spaced Out DLC on, just because it allows for more space travel and more rockets and stuff, which makes it more interesting. I'm going to take things... Thank you much, Proto. Much appreciated. Caleb, everybody, if you haven't followed him, he's right in chat right now. Go give his channel a subscription as well. He makes phenomenal videos. Good people. There's volcanoes. Okay, we gotta re-roll that. Worst conditions on the homeworld. Thank you, game. Okay. This one looks workable. But uncentered. Now let's just try... No, we don't need subsurface oceans, though. We're trying to get modifiers here that are just right for our conditions. The start of this game is always a little bit of cycling. This'll work. Yeah, this'll work well. Alright. So the entire point of this game is colonies. We're going to be building colonies with our little guys called duplicants. They are not people. They're actually, like, scale way smaller. Like, I think they'd fit on a desk, like they're little, like, figurine-sized almost. So the amount of stuff they can carry around is smaller too. But then again, also stuff in this game is measured in kilograms and it's way off a scale. The game is not like a real life sim. Instead, it just has a lot of really interesting systems and cycles that are similar or mimic real life in some way. But not what I would call a real life sim. Just an absolute blast to play through, though. So now we're going to get our guys. We start with 3, and this is the only time we really get to be this selective with them. So we're going to make sure we get some good ones. Farming, but some of these options. All right, we're gonna just get through this as fast as we can. Let's get selective with it. We're gonna want ourselves a researcher. Probably just researching as their specialty. This one's good. Germ resistant and doesn't like cooking, but won't be a cook, so that's fine. So then we could deal with somebody doing the operating. Operating supply. No, we don't want a narcoleptic. In a base that has variable oxygen, falling asleep randomly is not a good idea. But we want you to be able to do more than one thing. Operating and cooking is fine. Decrease germ. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just keep germs managed. And then we're going to want a digging builder. Somebody to do the work. Oh, that would have worked, but okay. We want somebody who's going to do the work around the colony of actually expanding us. You could try the other way around, but I don't think it's going to be any more successful than this is. Come on, game. Ah! Farming. There we go. That's garbage. Darn it. Come on. Stop messing with me. There we go. That's good. Yep, that works. Okay. Yep, and hard digging. It's going to cost a little bit more food, but that's fine. Anybody got any ideas? Otherwise, I'm naming this YouTube world. No ideas. We're going. Alrighty. Our colony has been destroyed. We only have 3 left now. We spawn in this little habitat. First things first, we're going to pause the game. And we are going to count 12 out on this side. And 12 out on this side. And then I'm going to cancel the dig of that. There's a bunch of little mechanics here. We'll get to some of them. We will not get to all of them on the first day, I can guarantee this. This game has so many little things going on, so many little cycles. That's the whole thing, is it's kind of a closed system almost. You know, you can vent things into space, which technically allows you to get rid of things like heat or specific materials. But generally, I don't like doing that. I like to keep everything inside my base and just find ways to cycle it around and around, not having any waste. Keeping things as efficient as I possibly can. And then these dupes are going to go off and do their little work. We're going to speed them up, because there's only 3 of them and there's quite a bit of work to do already. And there will only be more as we go on. We're going to start digging down and digging up. Not there, because that's a pool of water. We don't want to deal with that yet. But we're going to do this. And then we're going to prioritize this higher and make us a toilet. We can't have them having accidents. It's no good for anyone. The game has disease mechanics for stuff like that, and it's not beneficial. There's no benefits to getting everybody sick. Off we go. Ideally, once this pillar is made, we'll actually open that up and the water can drain down to here now that I'm looking. We can drain down most of the water in that direction. And that will avoid a lot of problems for us. Because if we can get all the water collected in one area and then kind of wall it off and go lower with the ladders, it's the best way. Then we don't have to wait for later or wait for anything to be cleared out or moved. We're also going to prioritize this real quick because I want them to sleep in oxygen. So day 1, they've got a decent little tunnel bored out. They've got all their beds set up. They've got a toilet, even if it is flooded right now. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Oh, there's not. We'll have to wait a minute. The water will flow from left to right because there's a way that it can get out here. So this is lower quantities of water, and that works very similarly to real life, except for 2 dimensions. Now, some people might think this with the two dimensions, it's fairly simple, like, you know, it can get fairly straightforward, or it's not a lot of load on the computer. I've had worlds that completely crash smaller computers. Oh, I made that one too light to the, or too close to the light. Oh no, I'll have to adjust that. I normally don't build next to this printing pod this stuff. I build it somewhere else, but I wanted to give them beds on the first night, and the only way I'm going to be able to manage that is something like this. I'm going to turn up the game volume, I think, a little bit, because it is quite low. Especially on my end. There we go. That should be better. Alright, they're still not using the toilets, so we're going to make them prioritize that. Thank you. Perfect. Now we don't have to worry ourselves about that, and this polluted water will stay ungermy. Because that's the big concern with that, is we want the polluted water to stay ungermed. So now that we've got... Oh, we actually need to set up more for them to do. They're idling. Off you go. Start tunneling down. And then we'll probably have them tunnel upwards on both sides too. Now that we've got that set up, we're gonna make that a drain. We don't need to prioritize it like that. We'll prioritize it real low. I have a bad habit of doing that. It'll happen later. Everything will be priority 10. There isn't even a priority 10, but it'll be it. Double exclamation mark. Everything will be priority double exclamation mark. There we go. Alright. We are now going to get our ladders up, up, up. And that'll pull down all that polluted water. I'm not as concerned about survival right now as I am controlling the biome. Survival is going to be fairly straightforward for us. This isn't that harsh of an environment. There's plenty of oxygen just decomposing out of blocks and waters and or liquids and stuff. There's plenty of Paku here, and we can start farming them for food pretty easily. Food is not a major concern. Getting the map laid out, figuring out what resources we have available, starting to draw out some spaces for work and buildings. That stuff takes far more precedence to me. Speaking of, we are going to draw out a box above and a box below the printing portal. And get all of our stuff sorted there. I have played this game for so long, through so many darn renditions, and I still love it. This game was probably my single most played game through college. It's one of my most single played games. It is the most played single player game I think I have. Yeah, Kerbal Space Program's a little bit behind it. And it's... How many years old? It is 7 years old now. Still great. Only one DLC so far, but new ones should be coming out this summer, ideally, from what I've been reading in the news. The publisher who made this game also made Don't Starve Together. They've actually got another game out recently that I think I'm going to be doing a video or two on as well. Rotwood. Just a great publisher overall. Clay. If anybody's heard of them, they're phenomenal. I absolutely love the stuff they've been developing in the last decade plus. They've been amazing from the start, I would say. And they just keep on bringing out the hits, doing a great job of balancing new stuff with making everything backwards compatible for people who don't have everything, and adding quality of life features to games, you know, not only through the DLCs, but through the base games as well at the same time. It's awesome. Really, really good people. Really great quality. I love it. I can't sing their praises enough, honestly. They're one of the few publishers I've actually followed and known the name of for a long time, and that's in a good way, you know. A lot of publishers, you know, you don't know their names in a positive way. Clay's the exception, not the rule, but definitely an amazing exception. So we'll get these rooms set up, and then we're gonna need to start doing research. We need to get a hold of metal, though. We'll get a little bit down here. None up in this pocket. It's pretty dense where it is, but where it isn't, it isn't. And we just haven't hit any of those pockets yet, really. Like how the Paku won't go lower. They're geniuses. They're so smart. We're gonna dig that out so that they don't get crowded. If they get overcrowded, there's a chance they're liable to have problems. There we go. We didn't get a farmer yet. And this guy looks real good. Alright. So this is also where the fun begins. We're going to go into each person, get their bio out here. Digging, building, supplying. And then we'll go over here. Ruby. Digging, building, supplying. What's Travaldo's? Operating. Tidying and cooking. Of course. And then Quinn's going to be our farmer. And that just means that they will prioritize those types of tasks over the other ones. If they're all 5, Quinn will go farm before he does other stuff. That's, well, recommendation 5. We can also disable certain ones, and we will later on. But for now, this will work. We're going to build 2 more of these real quick before the night gets... Oh, it's already nighttime. Well, Quinn doesn't get a bed. Sorry, buddy. You came in a little bit late on the day. My apologies. But they'll get everything built. We'll get everything set up. Deconstruct that bed because it's too close to the bright light and keeps on upsetting whoever sleeps in it. Again, I'm still not worried yet about oxygen. We've got enough food to last a couple more days easily. We really do need to just go out and gather the resources. My other concern is that these animals here, these plug slugs, they're pretty decent, but they're going to eat any metal they find on the ground. Which is really rude. Because I need all of that right now, considering how scarce it is. So I'm going to have to queue it all up into stuff so that they can't eat it. They can't eat the buildings. They can only eat the materials on the ground. So we'll just make sure they can't get to it fast enough. Now we're setting ourselves up a little basic research station, a hamster wheel to run for power, and a basic battery. We'll use this to get all of our novel research out, all the basic stuff that we need to figure out. First things first, probably just gonna research, advanced research, so that we can get that building set up too. Then I'll make a little laboratory, one of the newer rooms they added in the quality of life updates. Gets that bonus efficiency going. The best option in my opinion. Everything needs to be efficient, especially in these closed systems. The more things you can eke out, the more little bits of efficiency you can eke out now, the better off you'll be later, because there will be slop in certain things. Some things aren't controllable. You can't just tune them up or tune them down as easily. So having that buffer, that extra weight room is really helpful. Oh no, Travaldo's gotten himself stuck. Buddy. Buddy, don't do that. You need to not move further up and get yourself stuck over and over, okay? There we go. There we go. We have freedom. Perfect. Alright, so now most basics are done. At least the bare, simple minimum. It's time for us to start setting up rooms. We're gonna need some more metal for that, so I'm gonna quickly... This makes them panic a little bit, but this early in the game, they'll recover really fast, especially since we're gonna get them all the basic amenities for their work. This panic is so that they can make themselves a little break room that they can chillax in. Then we'll set up so that eventually they'll have their own individual beds. Again, far better for them. We'll eventually get people on night shift too. But that'll be once we have sustainable food, sustainable bathrooms, a lot of infrastructure set up. These 4 will be able to do a lot of it though on their own. They don't even know how capable they're gonna be. That's the wrong spacing. That looked wrong. That looked wrong to me. I knew it. Alright. I need each of these spaces to be 6 apart. It's the minimum size for these private bedrooms to work later on. I really like private bedrooms. They give a good buff. And all they are is empty space, really. A couple of resources sunk in, but mostly empty space. I don't think I'm going to be able to prop that ceiling up though, so I'm just going to let it collapse. Some water will flow through, some liquids will flow through, and it'll be over. We're going to get ourselves bathroom research so that we can get plumbed bathrooms instead of the latrine or the outhouse. It's only got 1 visit remaining. Fortunately, we've got a guy who specializes in tidying. And the bathroom is set to the highest priority. I'm already falling for the failure that I always do, so we're gonna reset everything's priority down a tick. Down 2 ticks. Should make sure they focus on what's more important first. Soon enough, we'll get a lot of the stuff off the ground and out of their way as well. But first we need to get a little bit higher up on them. There we go. Immediately did it again. I'll get there, it's fine. Prioritize. I don't care if it's downtime. You need to restock the bathroom. You had that. It's like the most important thing to do in the whole colony right now. The entire system depends on this one latrine not getting jammed up, so you cannot fail to do that. That's not okay. It will cause problems. There's too much liquid on the ground. We can't have that happen. There we go. Good. Very good. It's super important. If one of them makes a mess right now, it will mix with all the polluted water that's already on the ground, and then it will just grow bacteria like nobody's business. And all of this polluted water that would be 1 step away from being cleaned would be twice as complex to fix then. Either I'd have to clean it all and then wait for it all to die because the bacteria can't live on clean water, or I would need to put it through some kind of process to cleanse it quickly, like heating it, or freezing it, or putting it through bleach. Or chlorine, more specifically. But let's not. Alternate recommendation. No. The ceiling collapse happened, and at least it didn't end all things. There's still a little bit more to take place, but it is what it is. Oh, no research focus. Let's get more basics handled. Another nice thing is that just by playing the game, you get a bunch of cute little reskins for a lot of the items. Things like basic wall tiles can get loads and loads of different styles and skins to them, meaning that you can decorate your rooms and get them all sorts of different colors and stuff. It's real nice. We'll see a bunch of them shortly. I don't have many of those buildings unlocked just yet. But the water cooler is purple. I like that. We're gonna make it so we can start pulling water. Start pulling out some of the clean water from down there. So this is Harold, you're interesting. You're interesting with those traits, but I don't think we should have. You know what? You know what? Let's keep on expanding. We can handle it. And we could use a rancher early game. Ranching's great. I am, however, not gonna have him do any digging or building. He's gonna be all about supplying around the base. And that way, in case everybody's focusing on some build somewhere, he'll still be running around the base doing important work to keep everybody else breathing and fed and all the important details. Now we're gonna put in some points into everybody's skill trees. Get them closer to their desired goals. This gives them buffs depending on what they want to do. Like hard digging allows Ruby to dig into more and more difficult terrain. So we're going to make sure that she can dig through everything because she's our access to getting everywhere else. Travaldo. There's a couple of different ways we can go about this. We don't need cooking yet, so we're actually just going to improve the operating skill because that means that when he's running on this wheel, he makes more power per turn. Work smarter, not harder. Everybody's getting their bonuses. Morale's staying decent considering all the floor is covered in water and everything's covered in stuff. These piles of items on the ground from things that have been mined up, this does not make the decor good. It makes it look all messy. So we're going to put some storage bins down and we're going to put everything away into storage. Sort it and put it away. Should make everything look nicer. And if anybody's idling, that's what they'll default to doing. They'll go pick stuff up off the ground and put it away. Making sure that during their work time, they're always got something to do. Because this isn't like a normal job, you know? The normal job, you don't go out and change the O2 scrubbers for yourself. This is in space, and if they don't succeed at their mission, the only failure condition... It's not that you don't make money. There is no money. We need to keep on going. We need to get the oxygen. It's not included. And there's so many steps we have to go through to get the oxygen. One of the reasons I do these double doors is to keep all the airflow going through. Same reason why these ladder shafts are 2 wide now. Eventually they'll be 3 wide. Okay, so now we've got decent research. It's time for us to do a little bit more reaches. Things that are a little bit further out. It's going to make it easier for our bathroom design and plans. Speaking of which, we'll start some of that infrastructure now. I'm gonna have to get rid of that and put this in instead, but this will still work out fine. So we're setting up a double set of latrines. Or bathrooms, rather. This door in the center is going to be for airflow, but we're actually going to lock it so that they can't walk through. There will be 3 sinks on this side and 3 sinks on this side, equal to the amount of bathrooms. So when each of them pop out, they'll go to the sink, wash their hands, then leave. It'll help keep germs in the base even lower than they already are. Because we're not looking bad, but this is a generator of germs, and that little pile of germs right there could be a problem if we let it become too much. If we let it pile up, see, the germs are already getting to a couple of places, so the hand washing will help that. But we need a way of storing all those resources, which is, or not resources. We need to store the gray water before we can process it, so we're getting liquid reservoirs. Then we'll get gas reservoirs. But we'll get liquid reservoirs, we'll get the ability to filter that water, and then we'll set up a little filtration station. And that will allow us to run almost indefinitely with bathrooms sorted out. I just need to find a source of chlorine somewhere. It looks like I might need to go tunneling down. What I'm gonna do... Thinking about how I wanna tunnel down without having all this water come with us. I don't want to dig a second shaft right next to it. It's a bunch of wasted time. I think I'm just going to take part of it with me. What I'm going to do is we're going to lock it off like that. And then we're going to dig down on the left. That'll get us where we want to go. These buildings down here are going to be helpful for other stuff. That's not the target, though. We just need to find chlorine. I just want to find chlorine somewhere. And it's obviously not up, because that's space. That's really close. Wow. That's hard vacuum right there. So over here, there's this little slab of neutronium. This means that there's a geyser here. That there's a thing that will output infinite resources on a timer. It'll output something over a period of time, and then it will go dormant, and then it will repeat the cycle. We can figure out what type of geyser it is by just doing that, and then hovering over here. It's a copper volcano. So that will give us infinite copper. That is super useful. And there's a gold volcano to the left of it. Awesome. Those are both super useful for mid-game, really. I mean, late game, they're kind of useful, but other metals would be better. But we can still definitely capitalize on that. We can capitalize on it to make a ridiculous amount of free metals in the long term. Definitely not going to have the tech for that today, though. Basic achievements. Cool. Let's go to medicine, build the sinks. What sinks we can. And then we'll set up the piping for all of this, at least connect it all together. So that once we figure out where the tap is going to come from and where the gray water is going to go, we just connect it up. There we go. And then we can set these sinks to left on this side and right on this side. When we finally hook everything up, that'll be the directions everything needs to go. Oxygen pressure is still doing pretty good. Kind of surprised by that, but not by much. We've nearly got this slab up here built, which will be great. Start storing everything away. We're just going to keep tunneling down. Ooh, natural gas. That is useful. That is easy power right there. That is super easy power production. still don't know if there's any kind of environment around here that's going to have some kind of bleach stone or chlorine in it. Normally, it's kind of a waste product. You don't need much of it, but I just need a couple of kilograms of chlorine to put in a room, and then you just pump everything. You pump all the gray water through that room to get it cleaned. Or liquid reservoirs, when they sit in a room full of gas, will impart the effect of the gas upon the liquid they're holding. That's a really weird way of saying it, but essentially, if I have a gas or a gas in a room and I have a liquid reservoir in that room, it's the same as if the liquid was touching the gas on all sides, I guess, is another way of putting it. So the exchange is good there. So I can use the chlorine to just sterilize all the gray water, get all the food poisoning out of it. Because we don't want that. That's not good for... You don't want to wash your hands with that kind of water. So we're just going to keep on tunneling down and hopefully hit an environment that will help. Down here, it looks like we're hitting a forest biome, which is not bad. There hopefully will be oxyferns down here, which will convert CO2 into oxygen for us. And since they're at the bottom, that'll be very beneficial, because carbon dioxide will just float down. Even chlorine is lighter than carbon dioxide, according to this game's weight mechanics. But if you have enough airflow in your base, you can collimate the gases out, most of them. Polluted oxygen and oxygen love to mix with each other. But most of the gases can just be separated by weight. Nat gas and chlorine are both heavier than oxygen, along with CO2. Ooh, printables. What we got? Salt water. We could get a hold of rust from here. If the thing drops rust, we could use rust to make chlorine. I don't know. Don't have me explain that one, but there is actually a formula that would let it. But like the rust deoxidizer turns it into oxygen and chlorine gas. That would be the solution there. But first, we're gonna get the water sieve. The water sieve will allow us to clean up all this polluted water into usable water. Yeah, the water just followed us. A bunch of the polluted water followed us, but it's fine. Gotta deal with it some way, somehow, and at least down there it's gonna start off-gassing a little bit, hopefully. No, it's got water on top of it. Darn, okay. Polluted water, if it's exposed to open gas, will off-gas. It will turn into polluted oxygen. Very slow and not very dependable, but it is a way of producing some breathable oxygen. If there's even the smallest amount of liquid on top of it, though, like this tiny layer of water that's here, you can see it clinging to the ceilings, an area where there's only one tile. There's water here that's not going to let it off gas. Like it will over here. Slowly but surely, it's all going to turn to gas. Up here, it'll reach a maximum pressure because of the closed area. Like in here. See? Emitting polluted oxygen, 0 per second. It's because it's max pressure. Max pressure for the thing to do it, not max pressure overall. We could make way higher pressure areas with gas. Because every single tile has a pressure to it. Oxygen, water, and every single different one has a different density. Water and polluted water have the same, they're similars, but other liquids don't. We'll get there. There's plenty of other liquids. They just don't show up as frequently. This stuff has me a bit concerned because this is off-gassing to the vacuum. And like over here, it's no big problem because this one will off gas, and then this tile will disappear, and then there's 3 hard tiles around it. But something like this that goes deeper is concerning. And over here, this is a long one, but it does look like it will dead end. This one, though, will start leaching atmosphere. If it goes all the way down, it will start venting all of this atmosphere out into space. And then it will let all this polluted water slowly decompose too. So I gotta seal that at some point. I gotta go up there and put a block over it. Stop it. What we'll do first is we're gonna set that to raw mineral. All the basic rocks. Make a bunch of them that store raw mineral. We can store mud, because that won't off gas. We can store sand. We'll store the other stuff, but it will be in a different location. Yeah, we'll do both of those. There, that will allow us to store most of the basic stuff. I'm going to change this one, though, to store seeds. And that will allow us to store almost all of the basic stuff in the game. There's a few things I want to store underwater, because it'll stop them from off-gassing, no matter the pressure in the room, you know? Because if something's meant to off-gas into gas, it's expecting a pressure below 2 kilograms. Excuse me. But even a basic tile of water is going to hold a couple dozen kilograms, as a standard tile of water is 1,000. So, unless you have the world's tiniest dribble of water, it will stop off-gassing from happening. So I'll end up putting storage in one of these pools. Preferably one full of water like this, clean water. That way it'll never go down. You know what? I am gonna start doing that now, actually. Gonna set that up right now. Hi, stress. Why are we stressed? Don't be stressed. Be happy. They need a break room. That's what they need. They're obviously stressed out because they don't have a break room. Also, let's move their beds to different locations. That way they'll at least get a barracks bonus until we get better stuff for them. But that should be way better for them. Grabbing a bunch of sandstone because it should have a good decor value to it. Keep calm, guys, and get her done. It'll be alright, I promise. I think that they're having a hard time getting that sandstone, so we're gonna change what these are. They still need to get it done like ASAP, but we're gonna change it just to granite. That'll still get good decor, maybe even better if I'm not remembering wrong, but should be a lot more achievable for them. And they should get it done real quick. Because I need them to stop stressing. Stop stressing, start chilling. It's okay. There's no need to be panicked. Wait until we run out of water, then you can back. Hopefully we never will, but I have yet to see a water geyser anywhere, which has me a little bit concerned about how I'm supposed to naturally... That's cobalt. Great. I still am concerned about how I'm supposed to naturally accrue water. What's this volcano here? This geyser is a gold volcano. That will not solve my problem. There is a way I could definitively tell if there is one here, but I'm kind of afraid that there isn't. I'm kind of afraid there is no definitive water on this, or definitive water solution here on Gurgil, the name of this planetoid, asteroid thing that we live on. In which case, we're gonna have to ship water in from somewhere else. That's awful. No, somebody messed up. Somebody messed up bad. Oh, no. And that's gonna be a problem. And it's already made it down to the bottom part of the tank, so I can't even seal this off. That is problematic. We can fix it, but I'm not happy about it. That is going to be very problematic. Alright, let's set up our storage solution. In essence, what we're going to do is we'll set up these storage containers here. We're going to push a bunch of water over by assembling some blocks on the right side. And just push the water over here. And then we'll close up this side, and we'll have a nice little container that never loses pressure. Easy access without having the risk of off-gassing anything. Can use this to store all sorts of things that would be considered volatile or difficult to store in this game. I just want to get this done. Clean out this zone, please. Build that stuff. Push the water over. There's almost enough in each tile that I'm already happy. That should be good. There we go. So now we've got these, and we can store polluted dirt and polluted mud in this one. I'm gonna store slime in this one. This one we can save for some consumable ores like bleach stone or oxalite, like the stuff right here or right there. But this stuff we normally just let off gas into oxygen because it's better that way. New printables. Fertilizer's great. We don't want more people right now. We want to set up solutions first. Want to get ourselves a little bit more stable. That is one of the overall plans. Well, we purify the slime into algae, and then when we do that, it'll make a bunch of polluted water as a backup. We can actually turn polluted water into algae or slime as well, so you can just make an infinite circle that just slowly but surely makes more and more algae out of it as you cycle polluted water into slime and then slime into polluted water. And every time you make slime into polluted water, you get a little bit of algae out of it, so you just keep on circling around and around. I'm gonna get all the basic ventilation set up. But yeah, now we're gonna start storing all this polluted dirt and mud and stuff that's just slowly off-gassing, but we can use it more effectively, both to make oxygen and to make dirt, depending on what we want more of. We are running low on food a bit. Just a touch, but we've got plenty of backup there for now. We are going to make a tunnel, or rather a ladder. Goes right down here. And that will allow us to pick up any of the paku fish that fall. Pretty consistent source of food there. And very, very good source of food. Paku fillets are very high on the morale bonus. Speaking of morale bonus, recreation room, barracks, yup, washroom, makes sense to me. We're going to deconstruct this. We're going to move the tile over so that we can finish the left washroom. Still don't have any way of processing it as much, but we can manage that when we get there. Storage will be able to hold it for quite a while. Actually, no. I'm gonna move those one over. Like that. Eventually, I'll make this room sealed. For now, though, that'll work. Actually, gonna make that one wider. And then we go into refinements. Water sieve, put that there. Put ourselves a storage bin right there. More reservoirs. And then we connect everything back. And then this will go into the output there. And this goes into the water input. And once we've got chlorine in that bottom room, the bottom left room here, that's all you need for infinite bathrooms. It's actually so so positive that you'll have to pull water out of it after a couple hundred cycles. The more storage you have, the less frequently you have to pull the water out, and the more you can get out of it from each charge, but it doesn't make a lot, but it's helpful. And at least starting it now will mean that I have a little bit of water later on. I'm gonna need to find some way to generate food without water. I can't find water though, because right now the main way that the game would want me to make food would be with these bog buckets here. Another option, I guess, would be slime, but slime, like I've stated, also has a polluted water cycle to it most of the time. I don't know if there's a way that I could effectively do that without... Yeah, I'm not sure. For now, though, we'll just keep on expanding ourselves, getting the base bigger, making it more versatile. We're going to set up a space in this corner here for an eventual hospital. Nobody's hurt right now, but eventually they will be. And it's better to have it before you need it. Far better to have it before you need it. Don't understand how stress is still so high. I think we need to mop up. I think everybody's upset because they're walking through a bunch of water every day, which is fair, but... We're trying to fix it for you, gang. We're trying to get there, I promise. I need to find a source of... That's enough. That's just enough water. I need just enough water to start up my cycle. in the bathrooms, and this should be perfect for what we need. So we'll put a little pump down there, run a line. To connect it there. And induct all the water in. We need to get a little bit more gold for that. That's fine. Really wish metal showed up like this underground in the real world. I mean, I wish a lot of mechanics were similar to this, but yeah. A lot are worse too. It's much more. It is much simpler than a realistic simulator, but it's also far more complicated than most games. They've got way more involved. I mean, the game's got its own built-in database, so that you don't need to memorize everything. You can go through just about all the base details in there. Not gonna lie, there are also a lot of forums and stuff for this, which is awesome considering how involved it can get, because every single block there's multiple layers to it, you know, wiring, electronics, plumbing. There's so many different functions. It's an absolutely phenomenal game, though. I've played over 2,000 hours in this game, and I do not foresee me getting bored with it ever. I definitely go through phases, but I go through phases with every game. This one I always come back to. There we go. Later we'll connect it to stuff, but for now that's what we get. That research is nearly done. Then we're going to go up and do basic food research. We've held off for a really long time without doing that, which I'm shocked by, but getting everything set up. Gonna have a bathroom before we have proper food set up, but cart before the horse, it's fine. I think I'm just going to siphon out all of this polluted water before it gets more germs in it and move it all to be produced or turned into food. Probably get a few people sick doing that, but it's better than letting it sit there and get worse. I've seen tiles turn into having trillions of germs just by letting them sit around for a while and grow, you know? When you put it in its ideal environment and there is no theoretical maximum, it just gets insane. Trillions upon trillions of germs. Nowhere to go. Putting it in a bleach room would still take like 100 days for it to completely clean. Because bleach doesn't like instantly kill everything that touches it. Instead, it affects the half-life of the germs. So it's like, you know, 50% of them dying per day. Or something else like that. Somebody's stress vomiting. That's not good. On the bright side, we might be able to catch it before it infects anything. Please, please. I think we caught it just in time. It's okay, Travoldo. You can be stressed out. We just need to catch it before you end up infecting any water supplies with that. Because this water down here is still clean. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Work it out. I'm sorry. We'll do better for you soon. I promise. I'm sorry. They keep on walking away. He keeps on just having another incident. It's okay, friendo. It's okay. You are wasting a lot of calories doing that, though. I want to warn you. There we go. He stopped having his incident. It's okay, Travoldo. We'll get there, buddy. I'm sure. Just take some time. I'm going to seal this room off. Because we've got the pump and the wire in there now, so we can just send the electricity in and pull the water out. But it will reduce the chance of it getting compromised in any way. No, Harold! Why, Harold? Why did you do that? Why did you do that to yourself, Harold? Come on. Come on, buddy. You're smarter than this. You can do better than that. There we go. Harold. We gotta keep an eye on him. He's gonna end up getting stuck somewhere. More fertilizer, I guess, because we can't take more people. No research. Well, there's always more research. Time to do food research. My game is there we go. You know what? I need to know... Well, first of all, ceiling collapse. No, you're fine, Harold. Okay. Second of all... What do we got on here? I was right. There's no water volcanoes on here. That's gonna be a problem. We need to get out of... We need to find an outpost. Quickly. That is going to incentivize insanely fast research. Actually, we're going to spawn somebody out of the portal, and I'm sending them through this teleporter ASAP. I pray that on the other side of this teleporter link, there will be water geysers. Because then this building over here, that I wasn't hoping to use until later, can be utilized to pump water from that side to this side, to this planetoid, and then we can use that as our water supply. Because we're going to need something here. We need a way of creating food and oxygen. And the best way to do both, in my opinion, is just clean water. If you can get a hold of clean water consistently, getting a hold of food and oxygen is easy. It's easy. Then it's just a matter of setting up other cycles to handle your other smaller needs. You know, managing dirt and other resources that you either have a lot of at the start of the game and slowly dwindle through, or, you know, something that you need to fine tune because you use a certain amount of it every single day and you can easily get a hold of whatever creates it. It's a step-by-step thing, though. So we're going to wait until the next one pops up. Oh, starvation. No, not allowed. These plants on the ground here are early game food. So we can just quickly harvest them and solve the food problems. Nobody starves. Nobody's gonna be super full, but nobody starves. The processing area is being built. Or the bathroom processing plant, I guess. This is pretty much the smallest I've ever managed to get an effective setup for it. The one thing that this area doesn't have that I'll have to add at some point is I add a little coolant pipe behind this machine because it makes a bunch of heat. And yes, this game has heat mechanics as well. It's actually really, really good at the heat mechanics. I consider it one of the best sims for entropy and heat mechanics and dispersal and stuff like that. It's so cool how they managed to do it, but it's also a real pain to manage sometimes. Well, while they are working on all their tasks, I need to grab myself real-life water. I will be right back. Enjoy the duplicates running around. Alrighty, back in action. Let's see here. Well, they finished some of the research. Toilet's out of order. No, that's not acceptable. Fix that now. We can't have that happening, especially since the morning is when everybody uses the toilet, because that's the schedule right now. That's the default schedule. Bath time, work, downtime, bedtime. In that order. That could be worse. That water's already been infected, but we're going to clean that up ASAP, and we're going to avoid that happening again. Considering how much of this has already been done, I'm going to just drain this section here. We can mop up the remaining water as the polluted water drains away. We'll deconstruct that. Somebody's starving. No, they're not. Not for long. Oxygen pressure is still okay. Not great, but okay. Things get easier as we go further. You gotta push these guys a little bit hard, especially at the start, to make sure that they get everything they need to done. But if we do this right, things will get easier and easier for them as they get more and more conveniences, you know, applied. They get more nice things. They'll have lights, fancier food, backdrops, a whole bunch of stuff. Gonna set ourselves up with a grill. We're gonna remove the outhouse. We'll make this side into a laboratory and this side into a kitchen. Then we'll move our power production to a separate area as well. We're just gonna mop all this up. It's time. The bathrooms need to be usable. It's time to mop it all up. They'll still prioritize going to bed over that right now, but as soon as they get up, they'll work on it. There we go. There we go. Finally, the floor in the room is cleared. And I just realized this pipe's in the wrong position. Yeah, I can make this work. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of one. And that'll be enough. And then what we'll do is we'll add a liquid bridge over. And then this one goes in through that. The big thing I don't want to do is I don't want to have one of these outlets over the central line of the pipe because it will block anything behind it. By having each one go into the central line, it gives a little bit of space for it to not jam things up, not gum up the works. So the goal now is to figure out where bleach is before these, all three of these, but ideally one or maybe two of these reservoirs gets filled. Then we'll fill this room with bleach. We'll remove everything else. Then we'll fill the room with bleach. Chlorine. Either. And then that will become the sterilization step. It will clean out all the germs. We're going to pull out the swamp chard heart again over here. Phenomenal. Keeping everybody fed while we work. Looks like the teleporter is going to warm up in just a minute too, which will be great. Gonna send somebody through to the other side and see what's on the other side of this teleporter. I need to know. I need to know. But less than 90 seconds and we will know. Well, a little bit more, but yeah. We're going to remove the outhouse now. We're also going to set a general sweeping command for everything inside the base to help tidy things up a bit. Extra food. No. I said I was going to add some. These aren't great though. None of these are digging. We need somebody with digging skills to go over there. So we're going to have to just do Swamp Chard Heart and get extra food. We really need somebody with digging skills to go over there. Because that's like the one thing you really need if you're going to do a solo person on a colony. Is the ability to get through the rocks. Everything else we could theoretically ship over there. Or send somebody over there temporarily. But getting through the rocks is just a task. Oh, Ruby's starving. Oh, that swamp chard did not go as far as I thought it would. Well, that's no good. We're gonna... Yep. Ruby, you also are gonna be good at combat because of all the effort you spend digging. Because of the skills mining, you are gonna be great at combat, so we're gonna put you in charge of that. We're going to close this room off, and we're going to check duplicate skills again. Travaldo, you get grilling. Ruby, super hard digging. Crop tending is always good. Critter ranching. Okay, now this is a... We'll have to get both in the long run. We'll get this one first, because it raises science. There we go. There we go. Combat. Okay. Now we're going to go into here real quick and adjust our consumables. Nobody gets to eat meal lice anymore. And nobody gets to eat paku. And there's meat. No meat. Because instead, we will cook it into something better. We're just going to set everything here for now. So that way if any food items show up, they will just immediately be processed into their better forms. Gets you extra calories and raises the morale. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Extra food. Higher morale. Just way better for everybody involved. Please finish the wires. They need to be done. We need the benefits of meat. Meat, or barbecue rather, cooked meat, has a crazy high morale bonus. Especially for early game. It's like some of the best stuff you can get early game. It's super simple to do. Any animal. Almost any animal. There's like 2. Very similar also is the paku. The paku flesh or meat is very, very effective as well. So we're going to combat some of these guys. We can't have too many of them in there anyways. They'll get overcrowded. So kind of got to keep the balance. Come on, everybody. Pull together. You can do this. Where's our master cook at? Should be cooking food. Come on. Cook the food. Oh, that doesn't look good. Ruby, friend, you're not... Oh, no. Okay. So, I have pushed a little bit too hard, and Ruby is probably not going to... Yeah, okay. I can't afford to lose her. We're gonna go back a single half day. We've got a tiny bit of swamp chard left, so we'll pull it up. That should be more straightforward for everything. We're still gonna get rid of these Paku, because we really do need to free up the space. And the added food is great for us. Alright. So now the research is nearly done. Yep, we've nearly got basic agriculture as a whole figured out. We've got enough spare food. We've got everything queued up here. We need to get that wire finished now. Finish the wire again, guys. Come on. We've been over this. That wire's very important. Then after that, we're going to let them cook for a while, let them do work, let them move around, and just get everything sorted while we wait for the research to be finished. We just need that food, though, to be workable, because right now there's not a lot of available options. Speaking of which, I think I got to go back. Yep. Stop eating Paku fillets. There we go. We'll raise the priority on the generator to make sure that there's always somebody on it, or at least trying to power it. And then we just need our cook to get out there and get cooking. Yeah, because those all got saved because they were from the day before. Good. I'm gonna try and shift the water around down here so I can dig some tunnels. Like I said, just letting them cook. They've only been here for 20 days and they've gotten a lot of work done already. At least for the work, they've got a decent, high-quality meal. Everybody gets cooked seafood. Harold's really stressed. Harold, buddy, it's okay. We can't have you getting sick right now. Your stress response costs a lot of food that we don't have. Ah, it's going down though. The cooked seafood is really helping. It's a really, really high quality meal. Oh, we have no water. That's why the research isn't being finished. Okay. Yeah, there. We just need to get some. And there's a little bit of it here and there. So we might as well get that all figured out. That's something. How much does it need? Oh, that's way more than what's available there. Okay. I don't want to start pressing mud just yet. I want to hold off on that because I can. But instead, I'm going to dig a tunnel. And that will get me my water. It's a little bit of a walk for them, but I don't think they'll complain that much. We'll have to wait till tomorrow. I don't want to... Yeah, we're not going to make them stress about it. I know why they didn't make the game go any faster than this, because it would be completely unmanageable. But also sometimes I wish I could just jump 2 days into the future, you know? And just get all this stuff cleared off the ground. Get all the basics and everything figured out that way. Instead of getting the opportunity to be impatient like I am. Gonna collect some basic food. Make sure that we're staying on top of that. All the hydrogen that's been made by these plug slugs, these guys, when they eat metal, they output hydrogen. Slowly starting to pool at the top, right at the top there. It's one of the reasons we keep these at the top of the rooms, otherwise it would pool in each room, and it irritates the eyes of the duplicants. Not to mention it's unbreathable. That is also a problem. There we go, though. We got water access now. Back to finishing up that research for food. And once the food research is there, we go. Perfect. Then we're immediately going to turn over to doing critter research. Because we're going to do a hydroponic up here. 2, 3, 1, 2. I try to hold to 3 plants per duplicate. These remaining plots are not going to be for plants for duplicates. Instead, they're going to be for other trees and whatnot. But for now, it's better just to put them into place. Better to have them for later. New printables, what do we got? No digging skills still. We'll take the free food then. We're setting up our food right now, but taking the free food will help prolong things even more. And then we're gonna run a pipe straight from these down here. Connect up a liquid pump and power it all. Now, something I totally neglected to mention, and I don't know why I did. Half the reason I chose to do this stream this weekend, this game's on sale right now. It's normally 30 bucks. It's 8 bucks on Steam right now, and it is definitely worth that. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring this game up this weekend is because got, I think, at least another 12 plus hours left on it post this stream. So if anybody wants to pick this game up, now's the time, and the next best time is tomorrow still. So if you're seeing this in the future, I still highly recommend the game. I've recommended the game for years at its full price, and it's good. Wishlisted, do whatever you want with it. I think that it's awesome through and through. Clay has committed to doing quality of life updates for this game, and they really have come through in the previous years, you know? It's not a new game, and they still keep on bringing out new stuff for it. There's new DLCs coming up. It's just through and through a phenomenal game, and there's going to be more coming around the corner from what I can see, and they have successfully delivered on their promises enough that I'm willing to believe them. Not every publisher and game developer can be said for that, but I definitely have faith in Clay. So yeah, these are all going to be bog buckets. And that will just turn polluted water into food. Not as great as clean water, but it's straightforward. And we don't have bristle blossoms around here right now, which are the ones that allow us to convert water into food. Bog buckets will work. Way better than nothing, especially. See, this is decomposed. Oh. Slime covered it? Was there an asteroid? Is there asteroids here? Oh, there are meteor shower. Oh, that's even better. Yay! So the surface isn't safe. So the surface will get bombarded with asteroids on this planetoid. I've never played on this planetoid version before. I've played on quite a few of them, but never this role. I wanted it to be specifically different for YouTube to give me a little bit of a challenge. And oh boy, that's fun. That's definitely going to be a challenge. Definitely. I'm going to have to develop defenses for that before I breach the surface. Which again means I really hope there's water on that other planetoid. Okay, yeah, I need to get a digging duplicate and send them through that portal ASAP. It's going to be one of the only ways I can keep everybody safe. Who right now is having a snack? You're having a snack. Stop doing that, and you as well. You both have had enough snack right now. Somebody else is starving. Somebody else can grab that food. There we go. Nobody's starving now, and we got a little bit of spare. Sometimes the duplicates will eat even though they don't need it, and if they go above 4,000 calories, they don't actually go above it. They just hit a ceiling and stop consuming. They still chew and they still get rid of the food, but it doesn't add any benefit to them. which is awful. Fortunately, it looks like today is going to be the day that they finish the plumbing. And that will get all the bog buckets going. Get all those plants growing. These Paku down here. Yeah, they will make more Paku. And then the research we're doing will also help with that. Speaking of which, we need to get a refrigerator. Because this food box is garbage. Refrigerator, way better. And you know what? These guys are prioritizing a little bit funky, so. Please connect the plumbing. Again, played this game for 7 years, and I knew this would happen. I knew I would start over-prioritizing things. It's a bad habit of mine that I've had forever. Maybe someday I'll break it. That day is not today. That day is definitely not going to be today. Come on, bud. One of you just needs to finish it up. Come on. The water's gross, and it's no good for anyone, but we need to start pumping it up. There we go. Off to the races. Now we're cooking with gas. Well, not literally. Well, we will be cooking with gas later, but not now. We'll get ourselves a gas oven connected up to the nat gas, as well as natural gas generators, again connected up to the nat gas. And that will make a trickle of polluted water, but nothing worth anything. There we go. That should be all 5 of them covered then, once all those bog buckets are growing consistently. That should be all 5 of them happily growing. Yeah, the pressure is low up here. Of course it is. We need to get more. We need to get O2. I, however, have a plan for that. We'll build it into the side here for now. I don't know if there will be a better spot for it later, but this will definitely work for the time being. About that big. Put a sublimation station in there. And then put in some deoxidizers. And then we'll connect that all up to the power line that's already over here. And that should produce enough oxygen for everybody to be happy. Oh, everybody's starving too. We got compounded problems, guys. We got compounded problems. We're gonna deal with this one first. The oxygen will help solve the food troubles. So, we deal with that problem first. Starvation, that's just nonsense. We'll be fine. We're gonna try and dig up a couple of these spots here that should have goodies in them. Hopefully 1 or 2 of them will contain food. Enough food to last us until we solve our current predicaments. Oh, the spacing on this is still 1 block off. Oh, I messed up. Okay. Ruby, you can't take all the food. Other people are starving too, you know. We're just getting everybody above 800 right now. Okay. Everybody's still gonna be alright-ish. We do need to find a little bit more, but nothing major. It will be fine. And now that this room is set up, we're going to set the priority to all of these to 9. And this will provide basic oxygen and help keep the pressure in the rooms. Okay, what about these pockets? A lot of this food I just can't get to easily or directly. There we go. That should be problems averted, I think. Frankie, how bad you doing? Not terrible. Not the end of the world for Frankie. And there we go. Now we just gotta hope that the pressure gets high enough up here quick enough. Yeah, this little room here should produce a lot of clean oxygen. And then it will just blow out from that region into the entire base. Start doing basic power setups. What's the yellow? I was gonna say, what's that about? We don't need that right now. 60 seconds, and then hopefully we'll get somebody good out of the portal. Finally. Please! Do not stop working right now, please, Travaldo. You were just about to finish food. There we go. Sorry to do that to you, buddy, but you were just about to finish your recipe. There we go. Food. No diggers. Okay. Yep. Pressure's up here is good. Good stuff. Now over here, I'm gonna plant one of these. Thimble reeds. They make fabric. Reed fiber. Not for food, but very important for the long term. And we only found one seed so far, so growing it will let me get a couple more, hopefully, by doing a bunch of farming cycles. Gets you a percentage. You're expecting great things, Jordan. Well, I'll hope to deliver. We're doing decent so far, in that we've only had one death that resulted in me having to roll back one day. But we're okay otherwise. Everybody's alive, as far as you can tell. Most of the base has been managed. Why is all the polluted dirt on the ground? Oh. Well, that'll explain it. We need to have another storage spot for it. We ran out of space. How bad is this one guy's starvation? Travaldo, buddy. Oh, you're okay. 800. He's got nearly a day worth still. We'll just be sure to find something for him today. We're gonna dig out a little bit more space to make sure that we've got enough. Actually, better yet, right here. This is what we'll do. We'll dig out that one little section there. That will get us that bonus food from the swamp chard. Get that water into this section so we can slurp it up. Just helps in a bunch of different ways. Yeah, this kind of dead-ended overall because this is impenetrable down here, and there isn't any oxyferns I can see so far, which is kind of sad. But at least we got the food we were looking for. We got buried. There we go, food. The game's telling me insufficient oxygen generation, but I know that the pressure is rising. Who do I trust? At least the basic setup's doing solid still. Getting all the simple things out of the way. We got basic food now. I mean, the setup that we got for food will last quite a while now before we have to redo anything. So as long as those crops get to grow, you know, full growth, we'll be good. I'm gonna make 2 spare just to make sure we've got some overhead. Make sure that we got that net positive. But beyond that, it should just be a matter now of getting that digging person out of the portal. And then having them go through this teleporter, the transmitter. Seeing what's on the other side. And really, I hope there's a water geyser over there. We harness that water geyser. If it's a cold water geyser, I can start making metal. Which is crazy to be talking about on day 25. But I've done crazier. I have done much crazier. Enable auto harvest on that bog bucket. Free food, yes, please. Okay, so if this thing's running all day, it should make enough. But if it's not running all day and it has a power loss for a long period, I think that's the issue we were facing. That's fine, though. We'll be able to fix that in short order. I'm going to redo this room pretty quickly. We'll move the wheel, honestly, to under here. Well, no. We'll move the wheel over here. Wheel, new battery. Bigger battery. That's wrong. I messed up. One further over. I want to make sure I've got that gap. Want to make sure I got that gap for airflow. 3 wide on the ladders. And then we'll deconstruct that. We'll put a door on this. What, starvation? Fine. We're gonna deal with this, because this is... These guys are sucking up oxygen, or polluted oxygen, but still oxygen. We can solve one problem with another. Moving these stations around a little bit to make sure we've got some spare space for the other stations later. Because now we've got a laboratory. This room isn't a kitchen yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And there we go, new battery. Now we'll be able to hold a lot more power for the overnight and whatnot. Bigger buffer is better. Alright. For all those still starving. Okay, we need to fix that. What can I do to fix that for you right now, sir? Let me look around. That. And it will help with the overall goals. Yep, spare food. Awesome. No spare battery for the overnight, but hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the first day we build up proper battery. But we've got a lot of conveniences for day 26. Near full food setup, power, laboratory, bathrooms, basic bathroom rigging already done. There's still a few ingredients we need here or there to finish these things, but for sub 30 days, we're doing pretty dang good. New research. Gonna start working on getting the metal refinement. Because refined metals, instead of using the ores, is or will be very, very important. It'll be super important for early or late early game and all of mid game and late game especially. But late game, we're talking about alloys then. Like really expensive stuff. Not steel, but thermium. The late game for this game, you can get space age materials, like stuff that's ridiculously good at what it does. Steel gives an operating temperature of plus 200 degrees. Thermium gives plus 1,000. It's crazy. It allows for some really interesting builds and some very unique machines. But getting the space age materials are really, really hard. You have to go to special places for them. Which is kind of a fair trade-off, especially since a lot of them, once you get them, they're pretty easy to sustain or make more of, or not duplicate per se, but replicate. Okay, before the end of the day today, the game should give us another roll, and I'm really hoping we get somebody who knows how to dig. Just dig up the rock, guys. Oh no, there's another one. Well, that's annoying. There we go. And now when this water gets on the floor and they get yucky with it, at least they can go to the shower and clean it off. One of the other benefits of this new setup. See? There. Getting all the gross polluted water off. Not that it helps very much when it's just coming back. We're gonna have to deal with that. Digging, starry-eyed, decrease medicine. This works. Very nice uniform setup. There we go. Okay. We've got Ari. Ari, you're going on an exploration. You're going to Groito. I don't know what's on Groito, but you're gonna go find out. I hope you have fun. That didn't even fix it, darn it. Ari, go. Where is she? She asleep? I don't. Oh yeah, she's asleep. Off you go. Teleport. Okay, so there's oxyferns here. That's good. We can use those. Cool slush geyser. Yes. Okay. Yep, Ari, you are going to make it because we need you. Alright, we're gonna build up a little area around here where Ari can survive. We can repurpose a few of these rooms into basic stuff for her as well. But for now, we're just going to have her mine up basic resources and get things established on this side of the portal. Because that's the only planetoid we have a teleporter with. There are other planetoids, but all the other ones we have to use rockets to go to. Oh yeah, no, we're going to get more than 2 colonies running in parallel. That's one of the things that the DLC offers. In the base game, you have just your single colony, and then the mechanics for going beyond that are very, very different. But in this game, one sec. In the DLC game, you have multiple colonies running in parallel that you need to manage, along with all of the ones you have up in space. When you have the non-DLC, when you put a duplicant into a rocket, they kind of go into stasis. They don't need food, they don't need water, they don't need any supplies, they don't need oxygen, they don't need anything. And then when they come out of the rocket, they're at the same status they were when they went in normally, sometimes with a morale bonus because they got to see the stars. But in this game, you have to supply them all of those resources during their trip for the entirety of their trip, proportional to the length. And then you have to deal with all the colonies and all the other planetoids. Normally, you'd like launch a rocket, go somewhere, and then you'd come back with X resources because you had whatever built onto your ship properly. Ruby, don't steal all the food. Quinn is starving to death. There we go. Nobody's allowed to starve. We just need to draw things out a little bit longer until we get all these plants grown. And they're already getting there. 62%. That's pretty good. Because once we get our first harvest, we should be much more stable. Much more stable. And then we'll go check on Ari. Ari's done all the work already. Phenomenal. Going to assemble a room for Ari. A resting room, a bathroom. Dining room. That reminds me, that's another building and room set we need to build over here. I've totally blanked on that. I normally get way better at doing that earlier on, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. It will add a morale bonus for them a lot. So we're just going to go over here and go 1. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10. So this dining room should be able to deal with 10 people. 9 to 10 people. And then we just put in a bunch of dining or mess tables to start with. We'll add in more decor later on, but for now just some mess tables will be all that's necessary to make them very happy, because they've been eating off the floor. And that is not classy. It lacks a lot of class. We got some starvation going on. I just need to find a pocket or two again. The same trick we've used this whole time while the plants have been growing. We don't have time to waste on sleep. There's some swamp chard. Come on, everybody, finish up. We don't want anybody going hungry. There we go. Yep, already had an accident. That's fine, though. She's gonna get this whole room set up properly. Whole set of rooms. And then she'll have her basic survival stuff. We're then gonna tunnel straight down to the cool slush geyser and harness that. We'll probably set up our metal refinery on this planet because of it. And then we'll ship back the slightly warmed cool slush back to main base. Process it there. That almost worked out as well as I could have planned it. Finding that geyser on the other side there, right next to the portal. No looking required. Setting it all up and getting it to here is going to be a little bit of work, though. But we got time still. Yeah, we got time still. Yeah, they're getting some extra sleep in the middle of the day because they worked all night. That's fair. How are the plants doing? 76%? Cool. I legitimately believe that as long as we get one harvest out of them, we'll be set to go. Because that'll just keep the cycle rolling then. We'll have a bunch of food in stock. It'll go up, it'll go down, but there will always be enough. Or should always be enough. Bog buckets needed to be at least 10 degrees. Oh, it's cold over here. The oxygen warning. Oh, it's been warning us for the last 30 days that there's not enough oxygen production. But the pressure in the center of the room is the highest it's been in 20 days. So I say it's a liar. This place, however, doesn't have the greatest oxygen, but we also have a decent amount of it coming out of the polluted water right now. I'll let all that decompose into oxygen, and then I'll probably open up this bottom area. No. Oh, no. There's no... Oh, that's sad. I'll have to take the oxyferns from up here, unplant them, and then replant them lower down, because once all this gets turned into CO2, we can recycle it again, and again, and again. And since we only have one duplicate there, it should only take 4 oxyferns if we grow them in planters, or 16? It's either 16 or 8, I can't remember. A decent number of them if we grow them wild. The benefit to growing them wild is that you don't have to give them any resources. They just exist. But they grow slower and give out less. Or in a ratio. But for now, what we're going to do instead is we're going to dig up here. Oh, we can't get up there. Well, that's not going to work then. New solution. We can dig down to those. There. It's going to stress everybody out, but everybody wake up! Everybody wake up early! It's time for work! Let's go! Let's go! You're all hungry. You need food. We can do it. We found some. Go get it. How bad is the starvation? That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, they've both got over half a cycle still before they have real issues. So, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there with time. Honestly, we're gonna make them stop here for a second and just uproot this one. And then we'll have them eat, and then we'll have them keep going. Turn off the red alert. Somebody go eat that, please. Frankie, you're not starving. Frankie. Frankie, you're not starving, Frankie. Okay, Harold. You got 1,000 in you, good. Somebody else gets to grab it now. Not Frankie. Frankie doesn't get to grab it. Quinn, you also don't get to grab it. Somebody else come grab the food. Like you, Travoldo, you need to come grab the food, okay? Why didn't he grab the food? This guy's a genius. Ruby can use the food. Work is more important than food. A model colony. Until they die. Until they starve to death. The fools of foolishness. And I'm trying to, like, regulate them all around this single swamp chard. There we go. Travoldo will live. Good. Everybody's very hungry, but we should have the 0.2 cycles necessary to get the printing pot at least. Again, I'm just very optimistic that there we go. Okay, harvest is ready now. We're gonna change the priorities on these plants. If the harvest is ready, they should be harvesting immediately. There we go. They're starting to pop up. Good. Yes. Yes. Food. No, not downtime. They're gonna get themselves killed. These guys are all gonna get themselves killed. They're all gonna get themselves killed. Okay, it's time for Vince to introduce a new mechanic. It's called saving and reloading the game. What this does is it'll reload the portal. I wanted to avoid doing this as much as humanly possible. However, there are some playthroughs that I've had to do this for achievements and other stuff. It's not a fun game where you just sit here for an hour reloading the portal. We're gonna do it like two, maybe 3 times. And I just want to see if we can get a food drop. Because, oh my gosh. Are we close? We're right next to it, you know, right on the wire. And if we can just get a single food drop, we'll be fine. Sometimes the game likes to deny that kind of stuff, though, when you're looking for it. When you're searching for it is when the game likes to be its most cynical. Gosh darn it. Okay, last reload. Whatever we get, we get. I'm not willing to sit here all night and do it, but please give us food. Please, game. Please give us food. It didn't give us food. It gave us shine nymphs. These things can't give any food. I'm gonna kill a Paku. I don't really have much choice, but... It kind of, so like, shine nymph eggs are some of the smallest eggs in the game. They don't drop enough egg yolk to actually be made into omelets effectively. Almost any other animal egg in the game would be better. Those pufflet eggs we had at the start, though, are also crap. Pufflet and shine nymphs, the flying animals, have very little body mass. They're very light little creatures, which makes sense. But side effect. They don't really fill you up, you know? They're not really good food. They're not good eating. So I'm just hoping that our cook can get to the grill fast enough that he can just cook up enough food. We're gonna have to do this the hard way. The rugged way. Setting the kitchen to a high priority and just making sure everybody eats as quickly. And somebody died. Ruby, no! Gosh darn it. If we're reloading back to the portal. At least then we can try something. Eggs is food. I really wish those eggs had just been a pile of barbecue. See, that's worse. That's rocks. The game just gave us rocks while we're looking for food. We're gonna set everything to red alert because we know that they're gonna starve to death again. Nobody gets to sleep until you solve the food crisis. Fix the problem. There's plenty of food that's currently sprouting up in the garden. Go get it. Please. Please go get it. Turn it into meals. There we go. We've got a bunch of swampy delights. Now we're going to turn that all off and everybody's going to go eat. Everybody go eat your food. We might have gotten over this. I'm not going to say anything confidently yet, but we might have gotten over this. There we go. We've done it. Okay. It's time for you to keep on working. Because you've done everything that was needed for the basics over here. Now we're going to tunnel down deeper. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to build a big bowl in a bowl. The interior bowl is going to be where we put the pump for most of the liquid and whatnot. And then the exterior bowl is going to be overflow. So if everything gets overfilled and we can't do what we were hoping to do, or we can't if we can't take out enough liquid, instead of this geyser being turned off by the overpressure, it will overflow down here into this dish. And that will allow us to get as much water as we can from it, even if we don't have the capacity to slurp it all up as fast as the thing outputs it. The reservoir will act as a backup. So then Ari is going to do all that. And once all that's done, she'll come over here and dig this section out. And that will help a tremendous amount. Yep, food's going up. Food's skyrocketing now. It's almost like that farm was the exact solution we needed. Shocker, who knew? Oh, wait. Now we're going to set up a triage cot over here and a mess table, and all of these buildings together will make this room into a hospital. So in case of problems, we've got a place for them to heal up more. Yeah, the Swampy Delights seem to be doing their job. Good, good. And we're just slowly depleting the polluted water from down here, but that's fine. We'll have more polluted water soon enough. Very soon. Soon. Very soon. Sound like a super villain. But that geyser, you can see it's trying to erupt right now, but it's... Oh yeah, it is. But it will get overfilled soon. Oh, I see the problem we're having here. We need to set up a mini pod printer. We'll put that there. What that'll do is that'll operate just like the main pod at the main base. Allow us to teleport stuff in, but it also allows us to level up the guy. Ari needs to get skill points, and the only place you can assign those skill points is inside the pod. Activated, Ari. Does this place get meteor showers? Oxalite ones. Okay. So there's cool slush and saltwater geysers here. Good to know. I need to change the priority on that. Go do it right now, please. Flip that lever. Get it to work. Get it to turn over. There we go. Ari, skills, hard digging. Now she can dig these spots that were giving us this symbol before. This symbol means that there's no duplicate with that skill. The hat. Back when they first released... Well, back when they revamped skills previously, they made sure that every single duplicate got a hat when they did it. Now they're optional. You're not required to put them on your dupes. I prefer to have my dupes hatless, but you can put hats on every single one depending on how high skilled they are and whatever tree they work on. Gonna add those ladders so they can reach up and finish that ceiling section. The oxygen production is doing great though. I mean, we've got a bunch of clean, high pressure oxygen all around the base. The base pressure is doing pretty darn good. Especially considering that we've just added some expansions that take up extra space. One of the things we'll do soon is we should probably wrangle some of these plug slugs. So, while they're wild, you can just wrangle them, put them in a box, and then as long as the box is big enough for them, they'll walk around in it. And if you put a wire 1 block down from the roof, when during the nighttime, like that guy is doing right now, how they sleep, they'll plug into the wire and provide power. Not a lot, but they're great for like early bases and stuff. They're like opposite solar panels. They only work at night. And they're not great, but they do enough. They do enough. Yep, so Ari's just going to keep on working over here. We are going to have to worry about oxygen for her eventually, but for now, this gap down here will actually allow for more of the CO2 that was up here to purge down, and then breathing polluted and clean oxygen. There's no real downside to polluted oxygen. I think there's a little bit of a morale debuff, but it works the same way. They're breathing. The most important part is breathing. Like I nearly failed to do a second ago. There we go, we're gonna get all this water mopped up. Bring Get rid of that block, because it's causing the water that's supposed to dribble down the shaft to flow in here instead. And awesome. Yep, the research is just trucking through. Let's get fossil fuels. I feel like burning that gas is going to be the next natural progression for upscaling our power production. Especially since solar isn't going to be an option here until way later because of that. I also don't see any source of oil yet. Either on this planet or here. I am not afraid of slimes. What, these slime biomes here? This isn't that problematic. They carry germs on them, but the germs aren't that bad. Back in the day, this used to be a death sentence. Slime lung used to, like, infect and then kill any duplicant that got it before the game was fully released. And I'm really happy they reworked that mechanic, because, oh my gosh, was it awful. I'm not afraid of the slimes themselves. Oh, that's what you're referencing. No. The issue isn't that the fact that there's slime up here. The issue is the fact that it rains down from the skies, and it also can have gold meteor showers, which are much harder material-wise. So, both of those things would smash into the solar panels and overheat and break them all the time. So, my concern is that the meteor showers on this planetoid specifically just don't make it viable for solar power. I probably am going to have to go down here, because processing slime's easy. Processing slime itself is easy. The issue is the fact that this comes down in big chunks from the sky going very fast. And then it crashes into things. I'm surprised you haven't heard the thumping in the background. But whenever the meteor showers happen and we're on this world, it goes boom, 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 boom. But power is still okay-ish. We are going positive while work is being done, which is great. And food is fooding. That's important. Yep, Ari's doing her thing. She's doing great. Then we're just going to keep on drilling downward. Because this is important, and we also just need to see what else is down here. This is also super important because this will be where we ship the water in to get to the other base. Because the other base, again, has no sustainable point of creating its own water. I guess the slime molds that come from the asteroids technically could be used to make water. I mean, there's a bunch of ways I could technically make water and try and add up the drops together to make a reasonable amount. But why would I do that when there's this right here? And this will honestly help capture a bunch of the liquid. The next thing we'll do is we'll set up plumbing for it. I'm kind of tempted to just send it over as cold as possible and then do the metal refining on the other side, you know? Keep this as a very, very bare bones outpost. That might be the wisest choice. Because instead of having to send over a bunch of different types of metals and send a bunch of metals here for processing, I can instead just send one line of coolant there. Heat up the coolant, and then once it's no longer usable as coolant, I'll use it as other things. Oxygen, water, the good stuff. For now, I'm just converting a bunch of polluted dirt down. It's one way of dealing with it. Speaking of which, I'm going to set up another way of dealing with that. We've got a lot of polluted dirt in this base, and I need to get rid of a lot. So, we'll set up a compost pile. Start composting all the polluted dirt down, too. Then we're going to set up a slot here for consumable ore. Which one of these has consumable ore in it? One of these. There we go. No oxalite. It'll just off-gas into the room. Coal is great, though. Doesn't seem like we've seen any hatches, though, which is normally the best way to generate coal if there's not a lot around you. I think there's some that we saw down here, but man... Oh, there's a decent chunk, yeah. There's a big, massive coal down here. Of course there's some. But we haven't seen any of the critters that we can feed things to make coal. Yep, off Ari goes. Doing good work. Doing great work. What do you stop for? Body temperature. What's the... Oh, it's really chilly down here. Wow. That's not bad, though. I mean, we'll slowly generate heat from machinery and other stuff, so... having a cooler starting temperature is just gonna make things easier overall. Yeah, we're just drilling. Drilling straight down. Never dig down in Minecraft, but in Oni, you always want to dig down. Dig straight down. I need to figure out what else we're going to be doing soon. Got to come up with new plans now that we've got the basics sorted too. Food, water, well not water, but food, bathroom, oxygen. We've got that stuff sorted. The next best option is going to be metal. So I think it's time to upgrade our duplicate skills again. Better grilling ability, better construction ability, improved farming, more critter ranching, and the ability to carry more. That's geotuner. Materials study terminal. I think we need... I think that's wrong, but it's alright. We're gonna... We can get all of them for the researchers soon enough. For now, though, we are just gonna get Frankie. And Frankie's gonna come over here and activate this. And then the other one's all the way over here, so we're not gonna do that one yet. We'll just activate this one, and then we'll go activate both of them on the other side. And that's just pure magma down there. Okay. There's liquid chlorine over here. It's like a freezing cold. Okay. We'll go look at that. There's liquid chlorine over here too. Okay, at least we found some chlorine. I don't know if we're going to be able to transport it in that state, but maybe we can cause a temperature crash. Make it really, really warm. And then pull the gas through, because I'm worried that if we try to pull that through in a pipe, it'll just boil out of the pipe because the pipe's so warm. Yep, so 1 out of 2. Cool. Frankie, get in the teleporter. We only can do this every now and again because each side needs to recharge once it's been used. Bloop. We're here now. Frankie, do not eat the food. You are so rude. You are here to do a job, Frankie. 3 jobs specifically, and then you are to leave. Do your job. Come on, buddy. It's simple work. Alright. We're going to turn that off because it's daytime. We do want them to still use the latrine if they have to. But now Frankie should just do the research. No, Frankie, don't go to bed. What are you doing? Sir, you did not get teleported here for a vacation. This is a research outpost. Research and pumping outpost, soon to be. You need to set up the teleporters for the pumping part. We need to be able to remove all of the liquid from here and take it to the other place. Come on. Tell me how much liquid it'll make. Tell me the interval. He's attaching a special machine to the geyser, and it will give us all the data on it, so we'll be able to tell when it's dormant, when it will be active again, all the important information about the geyser. It's a one-time thing. Then he'll go down here and smash his hand on the little plate here and activate this. Same thing over here. Then we'll send him home. But this is all very important stuff, and only a scientist can do it. But since it's all one-time stuff, it really doesn't make much sense to, like, get a specialized scientist on this outpost. Because once this is done, there's no more need for him here. You only ever really need the one or maybe one scientist on the ground and then one to get in rocket ships and do space stuff, like with astronomy and whatnot. But keeping the duplicants reasonably numbered, not too many, but not too few that they're overworked, is real important. You gotta find the sweet spot for whatever your base size is and your base count. Come on, Frankie. It's probably gonna take him a day or two to finish this, honestly, but these guys aren't doing much better over here right now. They're just doing work. Slowly cleaning up. What I should do, though, is I'm going to set up a little processing area over here. We're going to let all this polluted water fall. Almost did the same mistake again. But we'll set up a little rock crusher up here. Fancy one, I guess. And that will let us start making some of the more valuable or more advanced materials. Free coal. Nice. We don't need no more people. I didn't even look at the qualifications of the people. We can't handle more. We are almost at, like, perfect equilibrium right now. We do not need to be messing with it. We're still not making just barely enough food, but we'll get there. We'll get there. The Paku have both made eggs, so we're gonna say Avidazen. Catch you later. Put in a fish feeder for the next generation, though. That way we'll start domesticating the Paku. One of the ways you tame a lot of the animals can be tamed just by feeding them or grooming them, you know, like giving them haircuts. Depends on the specific animal, but Paku just need to be fed from a feeder, and then they become friendly, and they make more eggs then, and then you can either crack the eggs or you can get rid of them sooner and just have more. Either way, it's a great way to make a bunch of lime from the eggshells that are left over, you know? You just let them grow up, and then whatever you do with them is whatever you do with them, but at least you got a bunch of eggshells out of it. Eggshells are great to make lime. However, this map also gave us a bunch of fossil, which is very nice for lime production. Kind of sad to think about smashing up fossils, but I guess they're like the bad ones, not the good ones. I don't know. And by bad ones, I mean exceptionally low quality, out of context, not as in like evil. I don't know. Haunted fossil. That's a terrible... That's like a C movie idea right there. Anybody who wants it, you can have it. Haunted fossils. No, we don't want to feed them everything. We're going to feed them bog bucket seeds. The spares that we have, specifically. We'll put like 20 kilograms of bog bucket seeds in there, and that'll be enough. Yep, there they go, picking up the extras. And that way we can just get rid of an extra resource that we accumulate over time by having a bog bucket farm. You can do that with any seed, too. I don't recommend doing decor seeds with it, because decor seeds aren't duplicatable. You can't grow more... good example, these ones right here, mallow. Mallow seeds. You can't grow more mallow by setting one up in a planted pot. You can do that with anything that has a farm plot, though. Anything that can use a farm plot of styles. Hydroponic farms or otherwise. Like this thimbleweed. We've got more seeds. You can see them in the stack there. Those little tails. We still haven't cleaned up everything, sadly. I think there's a little bit too much to be cleaned. That's why we're going to process away all the polluted dirt. But it gives good oxygen. Gives plenty of breathable oxygen. This one's nearly done. Perfect. And you can see what I mean by the overflow. So there will be a pump here that pulls water from this section, but then we'll have extra that overflows into here. We can pump out of there too, but we can separate where it goes and how much is being used, and maybe have a stockpile somewhere with liquid reservoirs. Alright, finish it up, Frankie. I know you can do it. It's time for you to be getting back to the main group. The main station, the main base. Where you belong to be doing research. Furthering our technology. I know you might be having fun out here with your new friend Ari. There we go, perfect. Cool slush geyser. Now we've got research on it. These are much faster too. So Frankie's going home today. Good job, Frankie. We're proud of you for finishing your work over here, finally. Oh, wait, no. Finish this one for me, buddy. Yeah, look at that skill. Look at that talent. Smack that button. Smack it around. Perfect. Alright. I don't need to see the destination, game. I know where it goes. At least I hope I do. Teleport. And he's back in town. But see, this thing is still charging. It's only got 50%. So we can't send another one of these guys out there for a while. And we can't emergency evacuate Ari from here until this station fully recharges. And that is why you need to have somebody with a dig skill on this side of the portal. Speaking of, we're going to keep on extending our view. We can't see everything on the map yet. But we could if we got a little bit more visibility in these directions. So let's go take a peek. Everybody over here is doing good. Looks like they just had another harvest of bog. Yep. Bog jelly. Bunch of harvesting of bog jelly was done. Fantastic. Smashing up a bunch of that into lime. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. This is good. Okay. So then we're going to prep by clearing up space here. Fortunately, this is already almost entirely a void. Except for gas, but we don't care about that here. Well, we want it to be pressurized with gas. But we will throw a two storage tanks here. And then we're gonna set up... I guess we'll do it in line with what the building already had going. And this is essentially the cheapest way I've found to successfully set up metal refinement. Bunch of batteries, the more the merrier really here. You will end up wasting a lot to heat, but it's the price you're gonna pay. And then you run it into some reservoirs, at least to start. Cool. Then I need to research higher power wiring. And I'll get heavy gauge wires and I'll run them between the batteries, the generator, and the metal refinery. And then this will take in all the coolant and warm it up for us, and then we'll distribute that to the base. We can clean some of it and turn it into pure water and then split that to make O2 in the long term. So we don't have an infinite supply of polluted soil. Polluted dirt. We do have a lot of it, but I also need to convert a decent amount of it into dirt. How much dirt do we have? 8 tons. That's acceptable for now, but we will need more than that. We can also make more using the animals on Groito. These guys, the pips, if they're fed either these trees or thimble reeds, like the ones we have here at base, if they're fed these, they will make dirt. And what's even cooler about them is that if they find a seed somewhere, they will try to plant it naturally in any natural tile. So they can be used to make natural plants show up in certain locations that they didn't spawn in. So they're very useful little guys. I love the pips. Okay, so we got visibility. Not on anything really useful, but we see that there's nothing useful at least. There is a bunch of rust over here, which can be split into chlorine, which is useful. And then we can teleport some of the, or we can transport some of this rust through the teleporter. So I did use the right word. But we can transport some of the rust over here and split that to make chlorine, and then that chlorine can be used for this room. And then we'll have a full-fledged infinite water cycle. Well, not infinite bathroom cycle. And like I said before, it'll make net positive water, which will be awesome. It'll be great for our setup. Yep, off they go though. Ari seems to have, we seem to have missed the ball on the food there a little bit with her. We'll fix it, though. We get a bunch of free fish, though. Heck yes. Before you ask Vince, why didn't you just give that fish to Ari? No. She'll be fine. Ari doesn't have, you know, all of the free food poured out of her region. All these little things here, these are excellent fruits. And these are crazy good on calories. So they will do phenomenally. So instead, we're going to prioritize digging up one of these. And that will solve all the problems. Boom. Perfect. We're going to open this door up. That reminds me, one of the other things I've found through the years is just always have all your guys set toggling to maximum. It's a one-time thing that you normally set a command to do. You know, you tell them, oh, toggle this on, toggle this off. So you normally want to have a pretty snappy response for it. And none of them are going to have any real interference with it because you're not going to toggle 80 things at once. Or you shouldn't. You shouldn't be toggling 80 doors locked or unlocked. You should have a master door that if you lock or unlock it, they get access to the other 80 then, you know? But that way you're able to lock certain regions off, to turn certain machines on and off. It's really, really useful, especially if you find yourself in binds. Okay, so we still need to just do... Oh, and it... Oh, there's no clean water source there. Okay. Easy. We fix. I know I keep on using the overzealous one, but also look at the stress for here. It's 1%. Everybody's very unstressed here, so we can make them freak out a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. There we go. Yeah, nobody's stressed anymore. They've got good food. It comes out consistently. They've got good oxygen pressure. They've got their own bedrooms. They've got good facilities. They're happy enough. We'll definitely be improving things more, but I'm happy we brought things to a very stable place. 40 cycles, and we've got a very nice base established. Not perfect, but very nice, especially considering the difficulty being a little bit higher on this world. I do hope we can get out our first piece of processed metal before the end of the stream, though. Some refined metal is always good, and a good indicator that you've reached them, you know, you've reached a decent step forward. It's a good trail marker. We do seem to have a slime lung infection in the base, which is not grand. But it's everywhere, so I'm not really going to be able to do much about it for now. The long-term solution to this really is going to be purge out all of the polluted oxygen. Then slime lung will die everywhere because it can't live on clean oxygen. But that's easier said than done, as a lot of the space does currently run off of that. Fortunately, like I said earlier in the stream, it's not a death sentence anymore. It's not the end of the world. So we'll just work with it. It will be fine. Finally finished up the roofing on here. Almost. One block off, but it's fine. Yeah, crushing up a bunch of that lime. Because we can make refined metals here. But you put in 100 kilos of ore and you only get 50 kilos of refined metal. Then you get 50 kilos of sand. One of these, put in 100 kilos of metal, get out 100 kilos of metal. So it'll be way better for us. It'll make, especially since we don't have a million kilos of metal to waste. Speaking of, we're gonna cut that down to size a little bit. We don't need that to be so long. Instead, what we'll do is we will connect it here. And that will be our metal rig. So let's hook all this up. Let's just get them to do it. Just do it, guys. Just do it. And then we're gonna get this hooked up on the other side. We're gonna make it not insulated pipe. We will probably eventually upgrade it. The reason we're doing that, though, is because it's 4 times less material, which means Ari won't need to carry around as much. She's only one person, and she can only do so much so fast. And we do want this to be done in a reasonable span of time, especially since she still has to set up power infrastructure that can handle it. And then while we've got that power set up, we'll also make sure that we can produce oxygen and whatnot, because down here there was algae that we mined up, and there's more there, so we can always convert this into O2. Oh, what's this? Minor volcano. What's this? Saltwater geyser. Good stuff. Yeah, I think we already knew that one, actually. I'm just revamping or rehashing over the same thing. But good stuff. Okay. Well, keep going. Keep on going, Ari. You'll get it done in a day or two, I'm sure. This side is nearly completed, which is awesome. They can't reach this tile, it looks like, so we're gonna have them deconstruct one of the ceiling tiles, build that wire, and then we'll replace the ceiling tile. Listen to the little breathing noises, though. It's adorable. These dupes are cute. It's probably one of the reasons I can't handle letting them go. Nah, we don't like. I don't like letting the dupes go in the game. I don't like failing them. I'd rather reload a save. Personally. There we go. So we've got that all set up now, and that's all that. Good. Now that that's all been... Oh, there's one more thing I actually need to figure out, too. A kiln. Is there any cold spots that we found on this planet? Not really. Okay, so then a kiln here, I guess. And we just won't use it that much. And then we just need to mine up a smidgen of coal. And that's going to make that. And then we'll queue up some refined carbon. Ari's nearly done, which is awesome. Come on, friendo. You can finish this. Everybody's depending on you. It's a quick run. Just a quick run of piping. You don't even gotta provide any power or anything. And I can guarantee it'll help with the XP all this building. Speaking of which, does Ari's got a skill point. Improved carrying. So that she can carry around more materials and therefore build quicker. Because she is the only one on this planetoid. We want to make sure she can carry around as much as she needs. Because the less trips she needs to take, the better. That's one of her weaknesses, is, you know, cycle time, trip time. After the ability to dig, it's like the second most important thing, I think, for making a single man outpost, is the ability to carry around enough supplies to actually not spend all day doing one delivery errand. It's okay, Ari, keep going. It'll freeze down there. It's too cold. It's fine. Red alert. Keep her going. We're nearly there. You can do it. There will be tasty, excellent fruit for you when you're done. I promise. I mean, she's nearly finished all of it already. She's darn quick. It is partially because of the fact we're making panic mode enable, but her stress levels are really low. Still only 13%. It's always up here in the corner. Is the max stressed person. That's what that number represents, is whoever's freaking the most. And since Ari is the only person here, it's an indicator for her. And exclusively her. Yep, the kiln is making refined carbon. So we've got lime, we've got refined carbon. We've got iron ore, and we've got, hopefully in a second, coolant to supply the smeltery system with. Can anybody guess what we're making? That's right, we're making steel. We're coming right up on the end of the stream, and perfect timing too, because we have just enough time to make steel, which is honestly perfect. It's a nice little thing. Steel kind of indicates the start of the mid game, as it's the first significant bump up in metal quality. There are other refined metals and stuff, but they don't do as much for you as steel does. Steel's great. Ari, I want you to run on this treadmill. I don't care what it takes. You need to do it. I'm sorry. I know you just did a bunch of work and you had some very tasty excellent fruit, but now we need to run. We need coolant to go to the other side. There we go. It's something. Take a quick nap. That's fair. She did good work. She did very good work. Yep, here comes the coolant. Do we have no iron here? We've got to have iron here. That's gold. That's cobalt. Well now. I'm happy we got a few spare minutes. I can fix this. You see, Ari's got iron on this side. And I don't have it unlocked yet to fix this. Darn it. Where is that? Right there. Okay. We should be able to research that quick. I'm gonna set them to priority super high priority. Let's go! Do the work! Do the work quickly! Why is Quinn... Okay, I was gonna say, Quinn can't be starving. One of the funny bugs I found in this game that still exists after all these years is that if a duplicant goes on break, right? Their priorities will always be bathroom, then food. So if they go to the bathroom, and then while they are using the bathroom or heading to the hand washing station or any of that stuff, their calories tick below 1,000, the game will say they're starving. Even though they'll go wash their hands and then immediately go pick up food. Please go back to work, peoples. I'm sorry to do this to you. My apologies don't mean anything for the work you're being made to do, and I know that, but I'm sorry. We need to unlock the thing so that we can transport iron back here. So that we can do the things. Do all the things. There's most of the research sorted, at least, or half of it. Harold's getting a workout on the treadmill right now. Oof. Just running and running all day. But his dedication is appreciated. As is Frankie's. Wow, Frankie's dedicated. We can't let that get in the way, though, because that could be contaminated. We can't let contaminated water fall down into the supply. That would be horrendous. There we go. Okay, that research is done. We're gonna try and we're unlocking conveyor rail research so that we can connect these two. They're both there. The game just won't let us connect them until we have it unlocked in our menu where we have the tool for it. Then we'll connect the two together and ba-boom, we'll be good to go. But for now, there's not really much we can do. I can connect... Oh, that's the wrong way. I can connect this to our power network so that once we get there, we can definitely use it. And that is good on its own. But, you know, only so much we can do. We'll get there, though. We should still be able to get there just fine. Getting steel. Getting steel. Gotta get there. Did they already finish? Oh. Wow, that's a lot of the research already done. Cool. I'd say halfway already on the conveyor rail research. Good stuff, good stuff. Come on, guys, we're running against the clock. Not a real one, you know, an artificially imposed one. But still, come on, you can do it. It's nearly nighttime. They're going to start trying to slack. No downtime. No. We need work. Deliver all the water. Yes. Good. We're nearly done. 21 out of 30. 23 out of 30. 25. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Then I'm immediately going to turn off all the red alerts and everybody's going to go use the bathrooms, eat, and sleep, like, as quickly as possible. Did we run out of water to supply the system with? Oh my gosh. What a problem to run into. At this time, of course we ran into it too. Turn off red alert because it's daytime again. There we go. Okay. Turn that off and turn that off. Turn all of that's priority down because we don't need them to have any more crises anymore. Okay, everybody take a breather. You did great. While you're doing that, we're going to go to Groto. And Ari did not finish the line. Ari, what are you doing? Brendo, you need to finish this construction. It's very important. I promise. Because then we can go here and connect these two rails. And then just by connecting them, we don't need to actually build anything there. It's just that they didn't connect to each other. Rude. And then we enable this for manual use. We put in iron ore. And we set it to a high priority. In the long term, what we'll do is we'll connect a switch to this. And then we'll load it up with 1,000 kilograms of material, turn it on, ship it out, then turn it off, load it up again. That way we control how much material we gain and lose from this planetoid. We don't want it to completely lose all the metal it has. But for the time being, we don't have such a luxury, so I just set it to a lower priority and we'll deal with it in a bit. We'll deal with it in a minute. Or not a minute, but next time round. We're getting real close, though. Come on. Ruby's fine. Got 16,000 calories of wow, that was a mistake. Flip there. Okay, we're gonna go do that. Turn that to 9. Turn off manual use. Run on the treadmill to ship it out. That didn't work. Oh my gosh. The last wire didn't get constructed. Come on. Sorry. Perfect. There we go. There's all the iron being shipped out. Cool. Alright, so why is Ruby still starving? Ruby, explain this to me. Why? What? Because you can get all the way up here. And there's... What? Okay. Oh, it's bog jelly, not swampy delight. Somebody hasn't been cooking. Somebody hasn't been doing their job. Mr. Cook, I'm gonna adjust your priorities because you haven't been doing your job. And your job is very important when it's food. Go back to cooking. You people are starving to death, you jerk. There we go. Okay. So we've definitely made a totally stable arrangement here. Yeah, this is a really stable base, you know? But no, it's actually pretty good off for cycle 46. Again, sub 50, doing great with this overall. So now we're gonna do 7 of these. Well, actually, we'll just do 1 of these for now. We're gonna queue up the recipe. Suck up some coolant at negative 11 degrees. Hopefully get it to, you know, about 0 or a little bit above. Probably bring it way above that, but that's fine. Burning through that power like there's no tomorrow. But we're coming right up on the end of things here now. We're going to queue up the recipe for the steel. So I'm going to remind you all now, this game right now is on sale on Steam. It's from Clay. It's called Oxygen Not Included. It's $8, regularly $30. Fantastic game either way you find it. I highly recommend you pick it up. A great experience, and there's supposed to be more DLCs coming up soon. Also, if you made it this far along, thank you so much for making it this far along in the stream. I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind showing your appreciation, maybe sauce me with an interaction below. Give me a like, give me a comment, tell me what else you want to see in the future, whether it's this game or other games. I stream every single Sunday, so it would be great to get some feedback. And on that front, I will be seeing you guys next Sunday. So thanks so much for watching. Later.